Bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle John. You know me as John. Anyways, it's Friday, which means it's time to deploy. I'm in Europe, and Jim is back in Australia, so there's going to be a slight delay here, but it's time to deploy. Jim, how was your week?
Yeah, good. Rather be a KubeCon, but it was a good week, just working on architecture, solving customer problems, having fun. Yeah.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah.
We've been, as you said, we've been busy here at KubeCon. So I'm in Paris, France, right now, and we're at KubeCon, which is always a fun time, and we're having a lot of great conversations. And yeah, I thought we could just highlight some of those conversations and talk a little bit about some of the questions we're getting, some of the people we're meeting, etc. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've been posting a lot of this stuff on LinkedIn. So if you're not following our social media channels, that's fine, but you'll see a lot of this listed there. So we've been posting lots and lots of content there on our Twitter feed. Most of the stuff that we're posting in terms of photos is coming up on X or Twitter, and so you can see we're actually quite well uniquely positioned here for KubeCon. So we're right behind the Code Fresh booth, so we're right next to a door to each other, which is awesome. And so this is the Code Fresh booth. That's 10 Garfield, as you know, and they're getting a lot of traffic around questions with it relating to Argo. Our booth is here, and we're getting lots and lots of folks coming to the booth. There's Trent looking like, what are you taking the photo for? I've actually had Deploy on Friday playing a little bit on our screen here. This conference is immense. There's about 16, I think 14 to 16,000 people at the event,
Wow.
which is bonkers. There's Colin taking a photo of someone holding a lightsaber. We're giving away lightsabers at the Code Fresh booth, which is crazy. And
Wow.
we've been having a lot of fun. So the conversations we've been having are great, and lots of questions about Kubernetes, lots of questions about Argo. So it's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun at the same time.
Looks
So
like
that's
so
great.
much fun.
Yeah, like it is, but then you realize like I look so tired here, and I am. Like we're just getting to the point now where it's like, okay, I gotta go home now.
Yeah.
Like we're having too many conversations, and after a while, it just gets to the point where it's like, ugh, okay. Anyways, yeah, so the conversations we've been having have been great. They've been pretty detailed. We've been getting lots of questions about Argo. We've been getting lots of questions about Kubernetes, which I said earlier. So, just to put it out there, we don't integrate with Argo. So, if you're looking for integration with Argo and GitOps, CodeFresh is a great solution for that. That being said, we do deploy to Kubernetes, and we do so in a very, very good way. So, if you are considering utilizing a tool for deployments, you couldn't go wrong with either choice, I think. So this is again some of the stuff that we're kind of highlighting. Another question we're getting a
Yeah.
lot, which is interesting, is like, what's the long-term vision for CodeFresh and Octopus? I'm like, we're thinking about that right now, so we haven't announced anything, but like people are like, okay, give us your roadmap for the next 12 to 18 months. We're like, okay, we'll see. So, it's one of those things. I
There'll
don't
be a
know about
bunch
you,
of
Jim,
cool
but
stuff we promise, but
yeah, I know.
yeah.
It's crazy. So, it's been one of those interesting conversations where people are like, we have a lot of customers who are coming up and saying, look, I want to go one, because it's interesting to get one or two routes. So like, I want to use Octopus for deployments, or I want to use Argo and CodeFresh. And so I'm like, well, pick what makes you happy. Like we're not going to
Mm,
tell you otherwise, but it certainly excuse me, it certainly seems like deployments are a very common problem, especially when it comes to Kubernetes, for example. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I know that you guys are heads down in the code on the R&D side, but any conversations being had there around what's the future with CodeFresh from your perspective, like, or is it
Not
just
really.
all
Not
Octopus?
not
Yeah,
Not so much from the fresh perspective. Not the conversations that I'm in anyway. I mean, I got a lot of my team asking me, "Hey, what's happening with Code Fresh and Octopus? How are we going to do it?" So I can
yes,
guarantee everyone's thinking really hard about it and really
yeah,
interested to see
yeah, yeah,
how we create a great experience with all the benefits of both. Um,
yeah.
no, yeah,
Well, one of the things we're going to do next week is we're going to talk a little bit about what we learned at KubeCon. So we've got a webinar set up. I'll be hosting this, and I'll be sharing more detailed insights around what we saw, who we talked to, and the kind of conversations we had. So this page looks a little different. That's because we just redesigned it a little bit. So we've got a webinar next week, doing a recap, and then Later, we're going to have Bob do a webinar on streamlining deployments, a topic that's going to share a lot of insight and experience from his perspective. And if you haven't been looking at the webinars page, that's fine. We've got a lot of really cool webinars coming up. So we've got not Kit, we've got Alex and Ships doing a session called the Top 3 Deployment Patterns from Experience. We're then going to do a session with Kit and Alistair around the new Kubernetes agent that we have for
Yeah.
Octopus, and we've gotten a lot of questions about that. So stay tuned for that. That's April 9th. And
Yeah, that
then
is
we've got our
something I've been
101.
seeing a whole bunch of. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got lots and lots of stuff going on. So we've got 101 coming on April 9th, and then we've got another one. We just published a white paper here, and it's entitled A Leader's Guide to Kubernetes CD at Scale. And so Bob and Kit, who are the authors, are going to talk a little bit about this. So in addition to the white paper, we've also published Matt Casperson's book, and we have it in print, and we're handing it out at the booth. So, we're doing a lot of stuff here, which is crazy, and we'll start to kind of talk about this more globally, I guess, and virtually as we go forward. So stay tuned for the webinars that are coming up. And I don't know, maybe Jim, we should get your team on these webinars. I don't know, like you guys are
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like
for sure.
awesome
We'll definitely be hitting you up for that when we're starting to talk to
when
customers
you're
about what we're
ready.
doing. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
What we have been doing lately, though, we have been talking to the people working on the K8's agent about, you know, how that works and how that can add scale and
Right.
value to the execution pipeline. I know they're talking about a few extra features. I'm not sure if they've announced them yet, so I won't steal their thunder. But yeah, just working with them because the K8's agent sits at the end of our regular deployment pipeline, right? Like it's just something that
Right.
plugs right into Octopus that you know and love, so you can use all the features that we support, whether it's deploying lots of things at once or tenants and all that sort of stuff. But it just sits at the end of that, so that we've got to work with them to make that work. It's been really fun.
So there you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. We're going to talk a little bit about some future stuff in a future date. And
Okay.
yeah, even though that the agent's listed on our planned, it's definitely coming for sure. So
And there's more fun stuff around it too, I think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, for example, like our GitHub app is on GitHub now. So, but however, that being said, the reason why I'm just going to quickly caveat this is because if you go to the marketplace and you search for Octopus, it's only enabled for certain instances. And so we had to scramble and put this little note up here that says, please be aware that the GitHub app is rolling out to selected cloud instances. So general availability is planned for early April. So a little bit of a teaser here, but this is something that hit us last week. And Michael Richardson came into the chat. And he's like, wait, this isn't for everyone yet because I was really excited about it. But just so you know, this is available up on the GitHub Marketplace. So stay tuned. Your instance, your cloud instance may be enabled soon. And we'll be talking about this in a big way. We'll probably have a webinar around this, but I'm definitely looking forward to this feature. Does this touch what your team is working on these
No,
days?
this is
Okay,
pretty far away from me. This is right
okay,
up the front end, I suppose. But
yeah,
it's great stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100%. So, anyways, like I said, busy. Feels like the hair is on fire, but not to worry. We'll be back next week, and we'll be back to regular scheduled hours until the next event, I guess. Any final thoughts before we wrap up the show?
No, man. Get some rest.
Yes, I know. Safe travels.
Must have been a big
All
week.
right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, anyways, we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Happy deployments.